This is a Fox News alert. Good evening. I'm Brett Baer in Washington. As people here in the nation's capital and all over the country finally get to see the just declassified memo alleging FBI abuses in surveillance practices, we have complete reporting and reaction.
Well, I think the memo sheds light on, if anything, the incompetence and bias of the FBI.
And whether you believe, as the FBI does, that it contains, quote, material omissions of fact that fundamentally impact the memo's accuracy, one thing is plain just from reading it. The memo does not exonerate or vindicate anyone, let alone President Trump.
Staff Secretary Rob Porter, gatekeeper to the Oval Office, is on his way out after his two ex-wives claim that he abused them.
He said very strongly yesterday that he's innocent.
But Donald Trump took to Twitter Saturday not to condemn the men, but to warn against false accusations. Quote, people's lives are being shattered and destroyed by mere allegation. Some are true and some are false. Some are old and some are new. There is no recovery for someone falsely accused. Life and career are gone. Is there no such thing anymore as due process?
Rob Porter, the White House staff secretary, quit after these photos were published in the DailyMail.com showing his ex-wife with a black eye.
Special counsel Robert Mueller alleges a conspiracy to dupe American voters to Trump's advantage.
The defendants posed as politically and socially active Americans, advocating for and against particular candidates. They established social media pages and groups to communicate with unwitting Americans.
Being Patriotic was the group that contacted and helped organize some of these activities that you posted on your own Facebook account.
Those were legitimate.
Those were Russians.
They were not Russians. I don't go with the Russians.
That group was Russian.
I have nothing to do with the Russians.
Well, apparently you did.
No.
Maybe you didn't know it, but you did.
This deadly mass shooting happened in Parkland, Florida, about 20 miles northwest of Fort Lauderdale at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, attended by about 3,000 students.
President Trump took to Twitter offering his prayers and condolences, saying no child or teacher should feel unsafe in a school.
This is about us demanding change.
100 students from Stoneman Douglas High School boarded buses, taking their fight for gun reform to the state's capital 450 miles away. Some students wrote lists of demands, including universal background checks and a ban on military-grade weapons.
On Friday, President Trump vowed to take action by nixing gun-free zones at schools and arming teachers with guns.
Gun-free is an invitation for these crazy people to just come in and shoot. If there are guns inside, held by the right people, by highly trained professionals, you're going to see this end.
I think that the moment that you put a gun on the hip of a teacher in a classroom, that we have accepted the norm that school shootings will not stop, that we are now on the front line to defend against them instead of trying to find a way to stop them.
Breaking news tonight, the special counsel Robert Mueller has issued new indictments against Paul Manafort, the former Trump campaign chairman, and his longtime associate Rick Gates, who also worked on the Trump campaign. Now, nothing in the indictment mentions President Trump, but it's chock full of details about millions and millions of dollars allegedly being flung around the planet.